Hello YouTubers, fellow hams, RVers, and whoever else might be watching. Well, it's towards the end of the month in July, so I'm going to do another video log. Thoughts on the road. I still get a lot of positive feedback on these. People like to hear about my trip and what I'm doing, what I'm up to, and you know, just stuff off the beaten path, off the normal topic, which is usually ham radio. So anyway, July. Hey, this is the hot month in the desert. I wanted to live in the desert for a little while, and I wanted to experience it, and I'm doing that, you know. And we're past the peak heat now. Early July, we had several days that got up to 102, 103, 104 Fahrenheit, which is quite hot. I'll try to remember to put the Celsius up here somewhere. And it's starting to settle down now. We're getting back down into the 90s Fahrenheit. I'm going to have a couple of days this week that's going to hit 100, 101. So, you know, the heat's still here, but it's starting to cool down. And the humidity is starting to creep up. We're going from single-digit humidity, you know, in the 7 or 8% range. We're going to be getting up into the teens and even the low 20s towards the end of this week. And that is because monsoon is starting here. There's going to be storms coming across Arizona and heavy rains. From what I hear, the monsoon will be a really heavy rainy day where you're getting at times 1 to 2 inches per hour. And the rain will come and go, and the sun will come out, and it'll be really up and down, and it'll go from crazy storm, wind, lightning to sunny in one day. I'm kind of looking forward to it in a way. We'll see how it goes, see how I do with the storms. Obviously, I'll unhook the antennas and stuff if they're coming in, and maybe even unplug the AC power and go on batteries, you know, to avoid lightning strikes on power lines, damaging things. But we'll see how it goes. You know, if it's an occasional 1 or 2 storms in a week, that won't be too bad. If it gets really ruckus and I just don't want to deal with the driving rain, and I think I've got all the leaks taken care of in the RV, but you get sideways rain and 40-mile-an-hour winds that can tend to blow water into areas that you just don't expect it to come through. And I had that happen actually in Mississippi. We had a really hard, heavy rain and heavy wind, and it drove sideways into the side of the RV. And I discovered that the external light, the little light up above the door, had a little bit of a gap around it on the top and on the sides. And when the wind drove the rain in sideways, it actually came in through that light, followed the wiring down to the switch, which is below a cabinet up here, and dripped out of the corner of the cabinet a little bit. So I had to go seal that. You know, so I'm constantly finding new leaks and sealing them. And so I'm a little dubious about storms with 30 to 40 mile an hour winds driving rain sideways. We'll see. You know, we'll see. Probably another week or two before the storms really get started. And we'll see how it goes. What I would like to do is I would like to just stick here where I'm at and continue to save up some money for the trip back to Rockport in September or October. Because 1,300 miles, it's going to be in the vicinity of somewhere around $700-800 in fuel to drive back to Rockport. About a month's earnings. You know, so that's kind of why I haven't been traveling. You know, I lost a patron earlier this month. I had commented over on Patreon about the limited hours I get to work outside with the heat. You know, because in the mornings, I get a couple hours in the mornings before it starts to get too hot. I mean, it's already up into the 90s, and it's only 9 or 10 o'clock this morning, somewhere around there. So, you know, it gets hot pretty quick. And then in the evenings, after the sun goes behind the mountain, the temperature starts to drop. You get about an hour and a half of light outside, you know. And I just mentioned that because I was being kind of limited on the antenna experiments, and I wanted to let people know why I'm not just, you know, cranking these things out day after day. And I lost a patron. This guy commented, well, just drive north, you know, Washington, Michigan, just drive north. This is nuts, I'm out of here, and he was gone. And he was a pretty large donation, too, so I kind of felt it. But, you know, I really didn't get a chance to respond to him. Obviously, he had not seen earlier posts, because I'd filled everybody in. I filled them in on Facebook and over on Patreon. That the expense is why I haven't gone to Washington. I wanted to go to Washington this year. I wanted to go up there and see the Olympic Mountains. I had an offer from a ham to come up and park on his property. It would have been great, but I did the math, and it would have been over $900 to drive to Washington. And then from there back to Rockport would have been over $1,000, you know, and yeah, it's just expensive. So, yeah, and that's fine. You know, it's okay. I'm going to get comments from people going, keep your chin up, and I appreciate the support. I really do. You know, and when I make snarky remarks on Facebook about getting thumbs down on videos right away, I always get a bunch of people that comment, keep your chin up. You know, it's okay. It's absolutely fine. I'm okay with losing an occasional patron. They come and go. I'm okay with the thumbs down. There's no way to avoid that, and it really, honestly, it helps me. Thumbs down or thumbs up is all activity as far as YouTube's concerned, and any activity boosts you up in the search rankings, so it's a good thing. So the guys giving me a thumbs down are actually helping me out. Go figure. But you know, just a thought on those guys. You know, I've got two trolls that every video I post, within a minute or two of it going public, I get a thumbs down or a couple of thumbs down. Obviously, they haven't watched the video, you know, so it's just somebody that has a vendetta against me, you know, or that, I don't know, they're holding a grudge for whatever reason. And honestly, I kind of feel for them, you know. It's kind of sad when you think about it, that somebody's life is so empty that their sport is subscribing to a YouTube channel that they don't like and hitting the notify button just so when they get that notification of a new video, they can drop whatever they're doing and log on to give it a thumbs down. That's kind of sad, you know. Man, your life must really be empty if that's your sport. But okay, there's all kinds of people out there. Anyway, enough of that. Like I said, I'm okay with it. You know, you don't have to throw me a ton of comments of support and all that, and keep your chin up. I appreciate it. You know, I really do. I mean, a lot of you guys are really supportive, and I absolutely appreciate you. And I hope I can keep entertaining you. It's starting to get a little harder. My hands are getting shakier, my eyesight's starting to go, and my memory's starting to go. But that's been, you know, I've been in decline for 20 years. It's just getting tougher. But I'll keep going as long as I can, you know. I mean, what choice do I have? This is my life. Okay, so what's going on? Well, it's coming up on the end of July. Did some antenna experiments this month, and got beat up a lot. They're getting posted over on QRZ, which is fine. I appreciate the exposure. But holy cow, boy. You know, you can be careful. The one antenna experiment, pretty much knew it wasn't going to work, but I had a viewer that asked, what happens if you feed this from the end on the folded dipole? And I said, well, let's do an experiment. Let's answer this viewer's question with an experiment. And I said it was an experiment, you know. I said, let's see what happens. Let's just build it and see what happens. Boy, did I get beat up on that one. Holy cow. I got guys over on QRZ saying, obviously this guy doesn't understand the basics and stuff like that. And you know, whatever. It was an experiment, you know. Even if you know something might not work, sometimes it's fun to build it just to see. You know, just to see what happens, just to gather some data. You could model stuff in software with 4NEC or EasyNEC, and I've still got to get into that and play with it a bit. But I like to build things and see what happens, you know. Modeling in software is probably accurate, but it's more fun for me to actually throw the wire up in the air with this crazy configuration and measure it and scan it and see what I see, you know. And like the dipole comparison video, again, I tried to be careful. I pointed out the discrepancies in the test setup. You know, I pointed out that the antennas were at slightly different orientations. And I pointed out that I had to use an external switch, so there was a little time there when I had to run out and switch antennas. And you know, and there's slopers. And I mentioned the ballon on the folded dipole, that I built it like the 40-meter version with a 4-to-1 ballon. Talked about the ballon, talked about the cores not being optimal and how that might have something to do with the results. You know, I mean, I tried to cover all the bases, but still, I get comments from guys going, you know, obviously these antennas are at different orientations. You really need to learn what you're doing and all this crap. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how careful I am or how much I enunciate what I'm doing or the reasons for what I'm doing. It doesn't matter. There's going to be people that are going to fast forward through the video. They're not going to listen. They're not going to listen to what I say, or they're just not going to pay enough attention if they watch it to listen to what I say. And they're going to make snap judgments and throw in comments. And again, I'm okay with that. It's fine. You don't have to give me a bump and tell me it's okay. I know it's okay. I'm totally fine with it. So I'm taking a little bit of a break from antenna videos for a little bit here. I'm going to do a couple of different things. I have a radio to look at. I'll give you a teaser. I won't show you the front, but I'll show you the back. Look at this little thing. Oh, we're going to talk about this, but we're going to talk about it from a slightly different angle from all the other reviews out there. There might be a bit of controversy in that video. We'll see. I'm going to start working on that one here shortly. So yeah, it's the end of July. I've made it through the peak heat here in the desert outside of Kingman. And now I'm going to see if I can make it through the monsoons. I want to sit still. I want to just stay here. I got a good spot. And I want to try to save some money because coming up in probably September, I'm going to be heading back towards Rockport, visit my friends there. Hey, Al, I know you heard that and went, yay! I miss you guys, too. Really good people down there in Rockport. And I'm interested to do a video down there. The gentleman that runs the EOC in the nearby town is promised to not only take me to lunch again, but give me a tour of their EOC. So that'll be a fun video. We're actually going to tour a working emergency operations center and talk about their radios and their antenna setups, and maybe hear a few stories about when they've had to activate it. So that'll be I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a good video. So yeah, probably September. It's when the weather starts to break, when the temperatures start to drop to a certain point. I will probably take a couple of weeks to go off to a different spot in the desert that I like down by Quartzsite when the temperatures down there get down into the low 90s. And then that'll just be on my way back to Rockport. So there'll be a video or two in there. You guys will know what's going on. But there will be a period of time there, probably 3 weeks, where I'll be making my way back to Rockport. The actual drive back, once I get rolling on the road, is just going to be a straight-on drive. I'll be sleeping at rest areas and Walmarts and just driving as much as possible because it's going to be a long drive. It's going to be about 3 to 4 days driving back. So that's what's coming up. What's going on otherwise? Well, I don't know what else to talk about. I know several guys really enjoy these little updates, so I'll keep doing at least one a month. And, oh yeah, I'm going to try to do a live stream before the month is out. Not sure if it's what band it's going to be on, what mode, what type of antenna I'm going to use. I've got some different cores on order, some Type 43 cores. As soon as they get here, I'm going to rewind the ball-ins on the 40 and the 20 meter folded dipoles and try to do another comparison test or put one of them up to use for the live stream, maybe the 40 meter. Because it works so well, although it's kind of a pain to put up. We'll do that just to do the live stream. So maybe next weekend we'll do a live stream to close out July. In the interim, I've got this radio I'm going to do a video on. And I'm still reading through the Practical Antennas Handbook. I want to do a mini review of that book. It's an excellent book if you like to play around with antennas. Lots to learn in there. Okay, so that was almost 15 minutes. Yep, 15 minutes. I think that's long enough for this vlog, for this update. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're not already a subscriber, click to subscribe. Join us on the Facebook channel for discussion about the videos. And if you'd like to help support this channel, please click to support me on my Patreon page.